So, Buzz, do you realise how big this program of ours is getting?
How big is it, Grant?
Well, we've got 180 odd members. We've got about 25 subscribers to the YouTube channel. Now we've got an audio advisor, which is Wedders. And all of a sudden I find that we've got an executive director.
Executive director?
Executive director, Kelly Schultz.
Kelly Schultz. Well, what's her role?
Her role was to critique last week's show. And you know what she said? It was a bit flat.
A bit flat?
Bit flat.
Jeez.
At the beginning, she said.
Did she volunteer to jump on Skype and join in?
No, she said we had to get excited. Now, I'm not going to play any pointer sisters, but let's get excited. And how could you not get excited about Saturday night's game?
How good was that, mate? 72,000 at the MCG Saturday night. Conditions were pretty good, a little bit chilly, not much rain. And, geez, mate, I thought we were gone early on in that third quarter, but what a win.
Definitely a great win. And night started off quite interestingly. We had no Wedders, but we had a couple of people in Wedders' seats. And if you click on that photo, it will remind you of who those two people were in the seat.
It's Waldorf. It's the Muppets.
Well, it was a couple of Muppets, but it wasn't those two blokes. So Wedders wouldn't have been too happy that people were sitting in his seat and he was paying $5 for the privilege to watch it in Toronto at 5 a.m.
So did you have these people removed from his seat?
No, but there are some people that should have been removed, and we'll talk about that later. Now, Wedders, even though he's on a holiday, continued to hassle us, didn't he? Because he wasn't happy with nearest to the pin. He thought he'd won it.
You just made a slight typo and suggested that all the joint winners were 3 points off, or 2 points off, and he knew he was 1 point off and he wasn't happy.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, him, Mario, Langans and Sully, they were 1 point off.
So you were right, you just told them the wrong margin, that's all.
That's right. So anyway, nearest to the pin, margin was 10. What was the exact scores, Bart?
Exact scores, 15-14-104, defeating Sydney 13-16-94.
Would you like to repeat that again?
Hawthorn 15-14-104, defeating Sydney 13-16-94.
It gets better every time you say it.
That's very good, isn't it?
Now, goal kickers.
Roughhead with 4, 3 to Bruce, 3 to Smith, 2 to Puopolo, and singles to Gunston, Burgoyne and Hodge.
Goal of the game was Poppies late in the second quarter.
Mate, that was a rip, wasn't it? Geordie Lewis has looked up, he had absolutely nothing to kick to, just down in front of us there. Gone the barrel, put it into space, and Poppy starting 5 metres behind his direct opponent, ran straight past him, picked it up, arched it back, cleared away from him and slotted it through.
And what was Brian Taylor's crap commentary about that goal? I didn't understand it.
Something about your Layla on Puopolo or something. Like, I don't understand anything Brian Taylor says. Everyone was complaining about him, and I watched it, and I still don't know what he was saying.
There goes the spiral. It's been 21 minutes since they've put any score on the board. Here's Puopolo. He said, "You're Laidler, and I'm Puopolo." They needed that big time. That was sensational.
Well, I agree with you. We looked in all sorts, didn't we? 10 minutes in the third. Goods had kicked 2 goals. We thought the Australian of the Year had probably snatched the game from us. And then all of a sudden, Clarko and the coaching staff put Hodge into the centre but behind the ball, and the dimensions and the way the game played out was totally different after that, wasn't it?
Yeah, Grant, I thought about 10 minutes in the third there, we're down by 23 points after Goodsy had his little hop there, and I thought, geez, I don't think we can kick enough goals to win this. They had us all blocked up, but thought the game changed. We had a good 5-minute period where we had the ball locked within our 50, peppering the goals, but just not quite getting one. And then eventually we did through a Bruce left foot snap. A good reward for effort there, and got a bit of confidence up. Won a few centre clearances, and away we went. Yeah,
there's some great play, wasn't there? Bruce led the charge, didn't he? He is unbelievable in his positioning. Either he's under the ball with a mark and then he can throw a player away from him, or he just happens to be in the right place to running onto it.
Yeah, his background of playing rugby on a Saturday as a kid and AFL on a Sunday served him well. He's got a great fend off. And yeah, there was one there where the big long kick come in from Birchall, and I was hoping that he'd square the contest to the ground and outrun Smith back, but he just ran back into him, pushed him back, turned and used his body to protect the ball and took a ripper mark and then went back and kicked the goal. He's getting better every week. He's got to be guaranteed All-Australian.
Some other pleasing signs. Stratton was backing himself again.
Yeah, definitely was positioning himself well to take marks and going for him, which he probably hasn't been doing as much. And that was good to see. He's still down overall on output, but I thought that was good signs anyway.
And great to have Gibbo back.
Yes, it was good to have Gibbo back. I thought we gave Franklin a little bit too much space at times. I think they were trying to work out some sort of matchup where Gibbo was able to run at him rather than be side by side with him. And, they used Littleton a bit for the similar sort of idea, just use the pace and try to get to the contest rather than let him shove him around. So he was good. He used the ball well. He was punching the ball clear. Great game back. For a first game back after missing 8 weeks, that was great. And
the other one getting back to his best is Birch.
Yeah, that was definitely, I think, his best game for the year. It's breaking the lines again. We know he's not there to be an out-and-out defender, so he needs to be breaking the lines and kicking the ball long as he does, and he did that well.
Now, it was unfortunate because Shuey was monstered by a monster, wasn't he?
He was, mate. And look, he's got his detractors, Shuey, and he did struggle against Tippett, but to be fair, he's given away about 10 centimetres and about 10 kilos. So, Tippett is a big man. I spoke with Shay Mumford last year, and he just said he's almost embarrassing standing next to him because he is such a big bloke, and that's coming from Mumford, who everyone thinks he's a big bloke. So, and the way they brought the ball in, like I said, it's all about midfield pressure is to help the defenders out. No one's going to outmark him on a lead or when he's got the sit and he can just hold his ground. So Shuey still had a few other issues, a drop mark and a couple of bad uses of the ball. But you've got to remember, Tippett sort of was out of the game in the second half, so he must have done something right at some stage.
Hey, there was that cute little Gaelic flick of Shuey's in the fourth quarter. Did you see that?
No, I must have missed that one.
Oh, you've got to go back and watch the replay. It's quite cute. He flicks it up with his boot while he's on the run. It was Gaelic football at its best.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
Now, the last great for me was Lewis.
He had a ripper game, Lewis, and when I get to votes, you'll see I've rewarded him for the game he had. But he's got better and better this year. It's easily his best season for consistency. Probably been our best midfielder overall for the whole year, and that's good signs from a bloke who'll probably captain the team.
Well, yeah, that's what they're speculating, but let's worry about the current captain. Now, you're right, we haven't got to the Barslow. They're not in camera. It's just we've changed the format. So, Barslow votes.
All right, mate, this was hard. I've left out about 6 blokes who I thought played ripper games as well. So I've gone with 5 for Jordan Lewis. I thought 35 possessions, and I think from memory there was about 15 of those were contested. 4 to Puopolo, unsung hero, this guy, easily his best game for the season. The drive he gave us, with tackling around the packs, roving, even when he went in the middle, he was fantastic. 3 to Isaac Smith, I loved his game, kicking the ball long, bobbing up forward and kicking 3 goals from 3 opportunities was perfect. 2 to Hodgie, just captain's knock, as we'd say, he just controlled the game well. And I've given a vote to Birchall for his game running off half back, so he gets a 1. But I've got down here Mitchell, Burgoyne, Roughhead, obviously, 4 goals. He sort of had a quiet patch when we were struggling. Bruce again, Simpkin for his tagging job on Malcheski, and Shields on Kennedy, especially in the first half, where he kept him relatively quiet despite us struggling a bit. So could have had lots of votes in the votes, but that's who they are.
You could have picked 3 other extra Hawks that played in that game. Buddy, McGlynn and Kennedy, they all played well too.
Yeah, they had 10 goals on the board, and I think 8 of them from Hawthorn players. I was going to suggest that Sydney don't need a New South Wales Academy, they just get their players from Hawthorn.
It looks that way, doesn't it? Now, talking of getting players from Hawthorn, their most recent and high-profile player was subjected to a bit of booing. What did you think about that, Bards?
Oh, look, mate, I'm not a fan of it myself. I refrained from booing. I may have called him a few names under my breath, as I would any other opposition player, but I didn't boo him. I think the guy's a two-time Hawthorn premiership player and a legend of our club, so he doesn't deserve the boos, but I do understand where the fans come from. A lot of people invest a lot of emotion into the game, and I think if he was at GWS, he would have come in, similar to what happened in Ablett at Geelong. He would have come to the MCG, he would have been applauded for what he'd done, but the fact that he went to Sydney and reportedly, straight after we lost the grand final to him, I think that's what's got the fans offside, and they let him know about it.
They certainly did. And this little kid in this picture, he certainly let him know about it, didn't he?
He did indeed, mate. I remember, was it the Melbourne bloke who had the jacket covered in the money for Scully?
Yep. Very creative, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate. That reminds me back when I was a kid, and I remember being at Waverley the year after Ben Allen went to Freo, and some bloke, when we were playing Freo, was yelling out over the fence, "Oh, Benny, I think you just dropped another 100 there."
I'll tell you what, that was probably that same bloke that was 2 roaches in front of you the other night. He wasn't happy.
He was an angry man, wasn't he? He was the chief buddy hater on the night for sure. He was probably actually embarrassed.
All right, well, talking about ex-Hawthorn players, I'm going to reintroduce Fairsucker the Sav on the basis of Ben McGlynn. Remember Fairsucker the Sav? Umpiring.
Ben McGlynn, is something to do with a little goal that was kicked in the third quarter?
Well, a point.
No, he said that he wasn't signalling that it wasn't a goal, he was signalling that it wasn't touched.
Well, Fairsucker the Sav, I mean, either this video is going to work or it's not, and clearly it's not working, so do we just abandon it?
Yeah, mate, I've been a big believer in getting rid of it. I think the decisions that could help most with are things like touching on the goal line and stuff like that, and they're the ones that the footage is just nowhere near good enough. It's whether our ball moves too fast, whether they don't have the cameras in the right spot. I'm not sure what it is, mate, but ultimately any of these touch ones, not so much the McGlynn one, that was a bit further out, but the ones on the goal line, the umpire's in the best position to see that. Just let him call it and let the game go, because it just doesn't help. Too often they get it wrong. So, they predetermine what it's going to be. Comes back as inconclusive all the time, and so you're going with the original thought anyway, so just go with it and move on. So
Gil McLachlan, Fairsucker the Sav, get rid of this too.
Yeah, I don't see it happening though. The AFL won't admit an error like that, but maybe they need to tweak it a bit. Maybe just have someone reviewing them as they go back to the centre. If there's a glaring mistake, pull it up. Otherwise, don't worry about it.
Now, Bards, you got a blast?
Not specifically, but a little bit of a wipe your tears away to Jacinta Campbell. Did you see what she said on the radio today?
No.
Oh, she made some comment about Lance has said that he didn't upset him, but I think he really was upset with the way the fans treated him, and we're all human and it's not nice and blah, 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 blah. Wipe your tears away with another $100 note, love. You've already got him on your side. You got him to Sydney. You got him your own manager. I'm sure that you will survive. Move on.
So that wasn't Bards Blast. That was Suck It Up Princess.
Well, it was, because, I could just see if he's really that upset, he could go for a dive in his Scrooge McDuck pool full of gold coins and swim around, whatever he needs to do to make himself feel better.
Well, he's not here, but if he was here, there would be a whack tonight, don't you think?
Oh, fair chance.
And that whack on Wedders' behalf would be, why do people that are in the old social club area, whether it be Kennedy Club or Gold Club or whatever, feel that it's appropriate to bring friends, family that are opposition supporters, but not just any opposition supporters, but loudmouth, obnoxious opposition supporters into what is a club area. Bards, do you get that?
Mate, I don't get it. It's not right. I mean, well and good, I've got a mate whose partner barracks at Carlton and she comes to the games, and that's fine, not a problem at all. With there's extra seat, you may as well use it up, but you don't then bring someone in that goes over the top. I had a bloke sitting behind me at a Hawthorn-Collingwood game who came with a friend of mine and was doing the old, getting stuck into Hawthorn players, calling them names and whatever, and really having a go. And I thought, well, that's not right. We pay a lot of money to sit where we sit, and we expect to be surrounded by Hawthorn fans, and if not, nice opposition fans that just, I don't mind them cheering on the goal and that sort of stuff, but not to be here and get stuck in and have trying to put it in our faces as two young lasses did around your side on Saturday night.
Well, those two young lasses, when they first came down, they were that obnoxious. They tried to put a couple of other things in our faces. And I thought, what's this, a wet T-shirt competition?
Well, you probably enjoyed that side of it, Grant.
No, I didn't. Mrs. Howes was there.
Oh, okay. Wedders would have liked it.
Well, yeah, maybe he would have given us exemption. But, what got worse was at half-time, an official came down and told them off for being rowdy because another Hawthorn supporter had actually made a complaint. And they went, why did they tell us off? And I actually, to Mrs. Howe's chagrin, went over and said, look, this is a reserved area and people do get offended if opposition supporters are here. Now, luckily for us, their evening was ruined and they snuck out. But that's not the point.
They sneak out before the final siren?
Oh, yes. Yeah, they were gone by about three-quarter time. But at least they went peacefully, unlike the Essendon supporters that we had ejected a couple of years ago, if you remember rightly, Bards, to the applause of everyone around us.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. The Essendon supporters should not be allowed in there whatsoever.
No, so I know Wedders wasn't happy at the Collingwood game when there were a couple of Collingwood supporters in there, even though we towed up Collingwood. So here's to you, Wedders, while you're on your trip, a whack. And that is, we don't think people should be bringing in opposition supporters into the members area. Right, now, Tonk of the Week. There was a clear winner, and it is all over our Facebook site. BT wins again.
That's it, mate. I was on the train sort of scouring Facebook on the way home from the game, and all I could see was BT this, BT that, and apparently old Brian just lost the plot.
So Nick Hogendijk has contacted us all the way from Germany, and it's upset Anthony Correa in Hong Kong so much that he's felt the need to write about it. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, it was strange. He does say some very strange things.
From the back line, have you done your research?
No, not this week, mate. There was more important things pressing, like victory against Sydney this week. I'm watching the replay, so I have not done the team this week, but it is underway.
Now, Bards, while we've been recording, I've just got a message from your lovely wife.
Oh, have you now? What has she said?
She said, right, it's the last time I see you at a football match then. I forgot she was an Essendon supporter.
Yes, but that's not the kind of Essendon supporters I was talking about. I was talking about those loud, obnoxious ones that carry on like the Sydney supporters do.
She's a Hawthorn convert, surely.
Well, she enjoys Hawthorn winning because it means I'm happy, and that's the happy house, you know. Happy husband, happy house.
Excellent. Well, from the back line, did you have a chance to look into this one?
No, mate, I haven't had a go at it yet as such. I've started having a think about it, and it's going to be a bit of a challenge to only pick 3 players from Victoria. But no, I haven't put it together. We'll have to let it go for another week.
You know, I'll put under close scrutiny when it comes to the top 3 from Tasmania.
Yes, well, I think that's probably the easier part, actually.
Just don't pick Simon Minton-Connell.
I'll say about Simon Taylor.
Jason Taylor.
The 3 from Tasmania pick themselves pretty much, don't they?
Hudson, Pritchard. Good luck, because Dunny's a Queenslander, Dermy's a Victorian, Hutto's a Tasmanian, Buddy's a Western Australian, Roughhead's a Victorian. I've sort of picked your forward line, haven't I?
Yeah, we got a good spread. I might have to see if I can slide Tony Hall on a half-forward flank or something.
Jeez, I tell you what, that'll be one hell of a bloody forward line when you think about it.
Or Darren Jarman. Gary Buccaneris from Western Australia. He'd be... Hello. I don't think I need to pick a back line or a midfield. We'll just have a forward line.
No, you've got to get a midfield.
Oh, someone's got to get it down to him, yeah.
All right, look forward to that. Now, Box Hill, another win, and showing up our depth. Kyle Cheney, great game. David Hale, here we got a problem now.
Yeah, David Hale was excellent by all reports. I had a text from a mate who was at the game saying he's absolutely killing them. Finished with 5 goals, took a heap of marks, a lot of possessions, a lot of hit-outs, so played everywhere and did what he should be doing. So it's good pressure to have. And look, I'm happy if he can force his way back in, and it'll probably be at the expense of Segler. That's fine, because Segler's young and developing, and we're going to get a lot of years out of him. So if Hale can get the form back, then that just bodes well for us overall. So, yep, we'll just see. I think I'd give him one more to be sure, but we'll see what happens this week, I guess, at selection.
Other selection headaches of players who didn't even play for Box Hill. Espanga, Lakesall, Rioli. Gerard did play for Box Hill. I didn't see him listed.
Did very little.
Then you've got to start thinking about guys like Whitecross and Anderson who aren't even playing this year. It's quite exciting still.
Yeah, if you actually try to put together a best 22, including the blokes that are injured, as you said, Anderson, Whitecross who won't play this year, It's amazing the depth we've got. So, which you need because you're never going to have all 45 or whatever it is on the list available at the same time. So, even impressive. I'm glad I'm not trying to pick a side. Even what we've got, look at the team we had on the weekend, and you've got to fit Rioli, Lake, and possibly Spanger back into that side. It's interesting. And Sewell as well.
And it gets even worse at the end of the season, and, let's not go there too early, but you've still got to delist 3 players. Now, we're probably okay because Garlett is effectively delisted, but a guy that we said probably not going to be there next year, Jordan Kelly, he's popping up all over the place in Box Hill as well.
Yeah, I heard he played a real good game. Same mate who saw Hale playing well said that Kelly played really well as well. So, interesting. I guess there's always the option of they might have to delist one and bring him back on the list if they think they really need him or rookie them. But I think Kelly is one of those players that he isn't great at anything. He's just a good footballer. So, he doesn't have elite pace. He doesn't have elite strength. He doesn't have elite marking. But he's a good footballer, so that might be his downfall. If someone's got to go, he still may be the one. But yeah, it's good to have. People complaining about Shuey's game on the weekend, but there was no other option. There was no one else to come in with Spanger out. That's our next best defender. So yeah, it's good that someone like Kelly can be playing some good footy, and also Heatherly's come back into training from an injury. He's been groomed as a defensive big man as well, so that's good to see.
Kelly could probably be in that side you picked last week, Bards, then, based on that.
Yeah, he's got to get a game first. He's got to play at least one, and then he can slide in there. He's probably one of those blokes who might end up somewhere else playing good footy as well, but we'll see what happens.
I tell you what, that might be one of our from the back lines. Pick the team that never played.
Oh, geez, that would be challenging because I've got to find a list of players.
All right, well, let's move on to nearest to the pin, and let's just remind everyone, firstly, when the game is. It's an unusual time. It's Sunday the 3rd of August. We're playing the Western Bulldogs at Aurora Stadium at 3:20, so a Sunday 3:20 game.
Yeah, that might mean that we'll be live on Channel 7 in Melbourne, is that right?
Yeah, at least we won't have BT commentating.
Yeah, I don't know, who do we get Sunday afternoons?
You get Bruce and Den, don't you?
Yeah, probably, yeah. I think they work Fridays and Sundays, something like that. Yeah, so it is an unusual time, a little bit later in the day, but that's all right. Yeah, it's back to the happy hunting ground for the last time this year.
All right, well, where do we win it? How do we win it?
I think we win it just on pure ability, mate. They've played some really good footy this year, the Bulldogs. They're improving immensely from where they were 2 years ago, but I don't think they've improved enough to get over the top of us. I dare say we're stronger in all facets of the game. Maybe not the ruck if Will Minson fires up, but, we should be able to get a good break even there even. But, our forwards are definitely stronger than theirs. Our backs are stronger than theirs, and our midfield's better. So I think overall depth will take care of it. As long as they're switched on, mate, we can't turn up with a North Melbourne-like performance because they're the sort of team that could upset us. The Doggies, if we turn up like that, but if we turn up and play proper footy, it should be fairly comfortable. Yeah,
look, I think big ground, Sunday afternoon, there's a bit of rain around. It'll be closer than we think.
Yeah, I saw photos today from they had a big storm in Tassie today, and there was looked like a lake on the wing there at Aurora Stadium, which is unusual.
Well, on that basis, what do you think nearest to the pin is?
4!
I'm still going comfortable, mate. I'm going to say 48 points.
Okay.
And I hope it is up there because we do need the percentage. So every bit will help to lock in that top 2 spot and hopefully top 1 spot, which we just fell short of Saturday night.
All right, well, my nearest to the pin is
4!
17.
17. Yeah, you have little faith.
Well, it's Brian Lake's number. He's ex-Western Bulldogs. There you go.
You could have gone with 36. That was his number at the Bulldogs.
I'm just making it up, Bud.
Yes. Speaking of Tassie as we are now, mate, I left someone out of the discussion when I was talking about those 3 Tasmanians. I've left out Rodney Eade.
Oh.
So he's obviously jumped ahead of Colin Robertson, but now I'll have to make a decision. So it might be based on where I need a player.
Well, he's on the back line, isn't he?
Well, probably on the wing. He's probably more his position. Just depends. I could have a Tasmanian wing, so I could have Pritchard on one and Eade on the other. Depends. It's going to depend on team balance, I think.
Oh, well. Good luck with that one. I picked a ripper, haven't I?
Maybe I'll just leave Hutto out and put them both in.
The man who kicked the most goals on average in a game, but by all means, leave him out, Bards. Yeah.
We'll work something out.
All right, well, that's enough for tonight. People just don't know the trials and tribulations we've been through in trying to record this.
Next week's whack could be Skype and their free call-in service because it's been terrible tonight.
All right, and I'll find out from our executive director whether this was good enough. And on that basis, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.